Because we are on the early adopter stage, where we build the new solutions, we experiment with ourselves, and we see stuff coming. Most of the time we're awfully wrong, but some shining moments, we get it perfectly right, and we lead the way to new areas. And the new providers I'm looking for, they're building on open source infrastructures. They're taking part in this, and they're contributing. So let's move topic a while. This was mostly just trying to explain why I'm in open source. But let's move to Asterisk, and I try not to steal all the thunder from Kevin. So let's see what I see beyond Asterisk 1.6. And you have to understand now, open source, that what we actually create is based on funding. And the largest contributor funding-wise today to Asterisk is a small company in Huntsville, Alabama. But there are many, many other people in the community that contribute. But there's no real roadmap. We're not making decisions on what to do. So what I say here might be something we actually do, might be something that we never get funding for. We'll see. But something that actually is getting inside there that I find really exciting. And this is part of a long process. We started talking about this in a development meeting in Pisa a few years ago. And then I think Russell got stuck in an airport or something and actually started coding. So I'm discussing with the American airport system to get Kevin and Russell stuck in airports, because a lot of good code comes out of them sitting in airports. But the cool stuff here is that... No. Oh. You can come to Sweden and not answer phones on our time zone. You're welcome. So this is really cool, because Russell made the core platform in an open way so we can switch message bus. And he started experimenting with one set of events, but we have discussions about moving the rest of Asterisk, the manager and other things, onto this event system, if we find that this is the proper way. What you can do now is take 4 Asterisk servers and one saying that this is an Asterisk gateway server, and have that connecting to CRM systems, instant messaging, CTI, webs and other stuff. And you can easily scale by attaching another Asterisk server. So we're taking the first few baby steps to test the architecture and start fiddling around with what we can do. But I guess we have no idea of the cool stuff that will come out of this architecture. But looking at this, I'm very, very excited. It's so cool, and we need your feedback on it. Something we need to do, and I think all developers agree, but not on what to do, is to replace real-time. Real-time was something created a long time ago to solve a scalability issue and management issue of accounts in Asterisk. But the requirements from the user side have changed during the years. So now we need something new where we can actually manipulate a running Asterisk, create accounts, change accounts, disable accounts, remove accounts, devices, objects in real time. And now we're talking not the real time we have today, we're talking about real time. And I've been trying to start this discussion a few times. We had a good session in Pisa, we had a good session in Atlanta on the dev meeting, and I expect another good session where we actually start coming to conclusions fairly soon in the developer meeting this fall. But this is something where we really need input from all the guys that work with third-party modules that create solutions based on Asterisk. Because that really makes me sad that people like Jay and all the guys with free PBX and stuff very seldom gives us feedback. I changed the manager interface in 1.6. Did I get any emails about new stuff they wanted? No. I broke down voicemail and made mini voicemail. Did I get any feedback from GUI builders? No. We need to have a dialogue. Jay, you were at the meeting in Atlanta, and I really hope that you'll come back and give us more feedback and continue to bang our heads with your ideas, because we need to hear. An issue I run into a lot is exactly like Nenad said earlier on. We have an issue with interrupts and kernel context switching and something else. I haven't really been able to pinpoint this, but I've seen many of our Asterisk servers. People now acquire the latest, sexy, cool stuff. Quad-core CPUs, 2, 4 of them. Asterisk locks on one CPU, and we lock to 95% on that CPU, and we won't touch. And people call me and say, hey, Asterisk isn't multi-threaded. I said, well, we are multi-threaded. In fact, we're too multi-threaded for this kind of systems. So what do you mean? Oh, you're running on one CPU. When I look at it, Asterisk is actually running on all CPUs, but something else blocks the system. I don't know if it's the kernel, the TCP stack, the Ethernet driver. At the developer meeting in Atlanta, we had a guy from Sun, Steven Euler, and he had been running a lot of tests on the large shunt systems and came out with the conclusion that the UDP stack and the Ethernet interface driver wasn't up to par. So he actually had access to the developers of the Solaris TCP stack, and he said, well, come on now. We've been spending the last 10 to 15 years enhancing TCP for the web, and now you're coming with UDP. Get out. There, the door is over there. Don't bother coming back. But this is an issue that affects every open source software that actually runs media. Daniel, you don't have to listen to this, you don't bother with media. But the RTP proxy that you connect to OpenSeer has exactly the same problem. And I think we have to work together across projects to find a proper solution, and a solution that works for all of us. Because this is something that's going to hit us in the back very soon. It's already hitting me in the back when I scale up. So running 500 calls, SIP to SIP in one server is okay. But as soon as we get above that, bang, one CPU. Zaptel timer, another can of worms discussion. When I started working with Asterisk, this was, no, we have the Zaptel timer and you need to support Mark, so go away and buy that $60 card from Mark. After a while, Mark realized that when people bought $60 cards, he had to provide them with $100, $150 worth of support, so that wasn't a good business model. So he canceled those cards. But I really think that we need to remove the Zaptel timer as a kernel driver, because that would make it easier to take Asterisk to other operating system platforms and do other things. I'm not a hardware guy, so there might be hardware issues here, but I really think this is old story and we need to find something else. And we need to, as a community, to work on this, because this is not a problem for Digium. The Digium solution is, of course, buy Digium cards. There's no reason for them to change it, but there's reason for us to change it. Video. Video is important. Asterisk today has a negotiation system of media, which basically says yes or no. We have bits for each codec. When you set up a video call, you have things like frame rate, size, many, many options you want to negotiate as well. We were running an Asterisk video developer conference a few years ago in Paris, where John Martin at OPIX donated a lot of code he had been working on called Videocaps. So I've been maintaining this and been working with Omniture because we need that for the video phones I just showed you. I've been testing with Tandberg, Polycom, a lot of others I can't mention really at Zipit. So we need to move this into Asterisk properly after 1.6.0 and get it inside, because it's a huge improvement. But on this one, but it's still only a short-term fix for what we really need to do going forward for 5-to-1 and stereo and all those crazy combinations. But it's still good work if you want video. Being European and one of the few active European developers, aside from Luigi, I care about character sets and being able to handle my name correctly. And I also work with SIP, where the caller ID name is UTF-8. So